Hello everyone, welcome back to your daily tarot and astrology, political and personal. So this one's for Saturday, April 19th, day before Easter Sunday. And later this afternoon, Pacific time, the sun moves into Taurus. So happy birthday to all Tauruses out there. So politically, what would be happening right there? Okay, I think it's making plans for the Easter egg, whatever, Easter roll or whatever they do at the White House. And I don't know if it's today or tomorrow when they do it. And then the high priestess, they're not talking, they're quiet. And they're just having fun in the sun, outdoors. Not much going on there. Not much at all. So, Mr. You-know-who probably would rather be golfing than being at the White House doing his thing. But I think his mind is just such a sieve, he'll probably just kind of lose it anyway. But this is quiet. High Priestess is quiet. Maybe Melania's got some, I don't know, maybe she's got something going on. But politically, there's some positivity. Now, I didn't allow for reversals. If the sun was reversed, this could be, if the sun were reversed, it could be, low vitality for the man with the guy that's reverting back to his childhood when he was the monster. He's always been the monster, so it's not going to get much better. I don't see much going on there. If you guys get something more that I've missed, please drop it in the comments. Okay. All right. Personally, for you guys, well, what would be helpful to know for Saturday, April 19th? It'll be so nice to have the sun in a grounded. I mean, I love all the signs, but Taurus is, it can be blissful and slow and being, instead of being, so much in the do. Oh, Seven of Swords, okay. Sometimes we have to be human beings instead of human doers. I think Taurus is good for that. But they're good at doing too, that's for sure. Right there. Ooh, Page of Wands is the theme for the day. Oh, then we have the Five of Wands. You know what? Five of Wands is great for playing games. So, making plans for Easter, I think. I'll read it both ways. So, Page of Wands is enthusiasm and wanting to get some things done, get some things at least started. Now, pages can be messengers, so it could be a younger person or anyone that comes through with some ideas. In the morning, you might want to be careful with spam, phishing kind of emails, because the Seven of Swords can be kind of tricky. But reading it some different ways, it can be just I don't know, maybe deceiving ourselves. It can be self-deception. It could be just challenges to our thinking. But again, I didn't allow for reversals. Now, if we would have the Seven of Swords reversed, then we could be breaking free from self-deception and breaking free from people who've been manipulating and lying to us or trying to just get what they want. And if that person's a younger, teenager or younger person, it's easy to understand because that's what kids do. They're just trying to be up on top, and they're trying to, It might be some fun and games that can be kind of deceptive, even like hide and go seek. That's kind of deceptive. Like, where'd he go? But it looks like fun and games to me, honestly. If you're not going to be hanging out with kids, if you're not going to be being with people over the weekend, then the way I would read these cards would be to be careful, follow your enthusiasm, but be careful about scam and spam emails and things like that. Identity theft, or people sending you. Don't you just love these like fake invoices they send you? It's like, no, don't open them up, but you don't click on the image, but you can see what it is, kind of. So there could be some of that going on. And then the Five of Wands is our card for remembering that we can all, as human beings, we can all have a lot of energy that goes in the wrong direction because we're not focusing on positive things. We're being competitive, and we're focusing on us versus them, or it's a dog eat dog kind of world. I got to be at the top. Well, those aren't constructive attitudes. So to me, it's always a power management issue. And if you feel your power either draining or going up and out of your body, which is, can be like getting into some headspace that isn't good, then just take a deep breath and relax. And don't let yourself get deceived with the fiery energy, because Mars is in Leo now, and there's still all that Aries energy. So it's fiery out there. Okay, here's the astrology for today. You can see that by 5 a.m. the moon is already in the second decan of the sign. So we're learning lessons about the foundations we've been trying to develop. And there's a lot of energy to empower ourselves. There's a lot of energy to call out and fight against and protest against dark politicians and people trying to rob us of our power. And we still have the sesquisquadrate going on, which is, the disruptions to their plans. And this will last. We have this until the 23rd. And Mercury has just moved a couple degrees away from Neptune. So, again, like with that Seven of Swords, we do want to be careful to who we're listening to, We want to take things with a grain of salt and use your own intuition and your own best judgment. And you can also see we have the Sun squaring Pluto. That's going to get even tighter every day that goes by. So for a few days we're going to have the Sun shining a spotlight on, giving us some focus and attention on what's really going on in government and who's really being dark, and or whose actions are extremely dark. And there you go. And you can see the moon is headed towards Pluto. We're going to have moon conjunct Pluto tomorrow, later in the evening on Easter. So again, we got to be careful. So you can see the sun is at 29 degrees of Aries, but watch when I go forward. I'm sorry. That was one day. I got to push it back hours. Here we go. It's going to take a few hours, but we'll have the sun in Taurus, 1 p.m., but I think it's legal at 12 something. I have my notes over here, 12:56 p.m. Pacific time. So now things will start to slow down, but we still have the square to Pluto. But, when the sun's in Taurus, the energy is completely different. It's about security. It's about blissfulness and peacefulness. It's the need for grounded peacefulness. So we might be starting to think and realize that meditation is a real need. When the fiery energy wanes out, it's much easier to meditate, and now it'll be easier to ground even. And of course, as the moon, every day it's going to go 1 degree, right? So a little more than 3 weeks, we'll have the sun hit up Uranus. And there can be some huge enlightening, breakthroughs when we have the Sun conjunct Uranus. And especially, because the moon will go over here to Pluto, hooking up with Pluto, that'll be helpful too. That won't be long, and that kind of initiates that energy for later on. So, yeah, pay attention to dreams. We can still make a lot of good, we can get a lot of good guidance from dream time, or clear out old baggage from you can set the intention to let go and commune with your higher self and all of your guides and guardian angels and any loved ones who've crossed over. There's so much that can be accomplished in dream time if you want. But you just have to set the intention when you're going to sleep. And for healing too. So yeah, that's a good thing to remember. Always ask for healing while you're sleeping. Let's see. The square from Ceres to Jupiter is still in force for a while. So there's that again. There's the little tension field and challenges and decisions that need to be made as to gathering information so that healing and expansion can happen, and especially that includes everything that you care about. The series is all about all of that, everything that matters. Same thing with Venus. So I know there's only there is a 5-degree separation between, or difference, the orb is 5 degrees apart with Ceres and Venus, but that conjunction is getting closer and closer, and those two together will really be united in wanting to have a lot of compassion and care and sensitivity for everything that is the most priceless on earth, which is love in our loved ones. So let's see, what else? This is interesting because I don't have this. I have the orbs just on standard, and it's less intense today, which I like. But there sure is a lot of energy focused down on Mars, and then the Mars opposition. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot because Mars is action. Pluto is about transformation. Mars in Leo is courageous. Now, it can also be very narcissistic on the dark side. And Aquarius on the dark side can be narcissistic. But the square over here from the sun, revealing, shining light on that narcissism on both ends, there's that connection. See how it kind of bings together? And then notice here that if you come over this way, see this point where the sun is holding space as a T-square from Mars and Pluto, right? See that? That's quite phenomenal. And to have, just Mars, the sun square Mars, there's action, but it's oh boy, now. It's Saturday, so I'm thinking that there's not a lot going on in Washington, in Congress, but I could be wrong. They could be fighting. Now, also, it could be the power of the people shining a spotlight on what they want, and we don't want the narcissistic monsters running, calling the shots. So boy, all this Pisces energy trying to Mars in Leo has me thinking that there's a lot of people rising up against being victimized. That's, to sum it up in a nutshell, that is it. And the double sextile from Mercury and Venus to Pluto really brings power to all that, all that needs to be said. And that surge forward, because we all deserve to exist. We're here. Why would we want to be your slaves? Right? We're not here just to give our taxpayer money to you to go do whatever you want with it. It's not how you run government. And boy, the people are motivated. So, okay, there's also the aspect of the architect going on too, with Mercury and Neptune. So, again, here's another nutshell. We're going to see the lies more clearly. We're going to hear the lies more clearly. We're going to question authority, so-called authority, and have the courage to stand in our own authority as time goes by, more and more. Same thing with this other aspect of the architect here that's been going on for quite some time. I mean, look how Venus is exactly sextile Uranus. So again, making those comparison values, and we're hearkening back to the facts of the past, and we don't like what happened in the past. So yeah, that's right, because today's the 19th, and so this is the Venus conjunct Saturn exact. And Saturn's sextiling Saturn here at 26, sextiling Uranus is exact too. But it's going to start waning after the 20th. You can see the orb there. Yeah. So, yeah. I think that's it. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Bye.